Hi cross patchers, we're back for the last two blocks of our sampler quilt, and these two blocks are very similar. The measurements are exactly the same for the blocks, apart from on this block you've got the 3 strips. Okay, that's the only thing different. So they're very similar, but they look, depending on what fabrics you're using, they're going to look completely different in your quilt. Okay, so lots of half square triangles, it appears, in this quilt, which I didn't realise until I started filming it. Okay, so on both blocks you're going to need, for your half square triangles, you're going to need exactly the same amount and exactly the same size for both blocks. Okay, so you are going to need 2 squares of one colour of 4 7/8 for the big one, and 2 squares of a contrast colour of 4 7/8. On the little one, it's 2 7/8 of an inch. So these will make your half square triangles on each corner. Your block, your centre block in each one, again, is exactly the same, and it's 4.5 inches on the big quilt and 2.5 inches on the little quilt. Okay, so with the Shoofly block, you've also got squares round the edge. Okay, so these blocks again are the same. They are 4.5 inches on the big quilt and 2.5 inches on the little quilt. So basically for this block you're cutting 5 squares 4.5 inches. This is the big version, or 5 squares of 2.5 inches on the little quilt. So let's get the first demo out. Let's get the Shoofly in, shall we? So again, half square triangles, putting your half square pieces together. So you've got 2 sets this time because you've got 4 corners. So we're putting our squares together, and these on the little one are 2 7/8 of an inch. We're putting them contrast colours together, diagonal line down the back, sewing 1/4 of an inch either side of our block, and then cutting it in half along the line, which will give us our half square triangles. So if I just cut it open now. So this is our remaining 2 blocks for the quilt. So you've already cut your squares in the measurements I gave you at the beginning of the video. So just set them out however you want. So you can have the gold on the inside or the gold on the outside. You would join the top 3 together, the middle 3 together, the bottom 3 together, and then sew all 3 sets together to finish off your block. So that's another easy block to do, and that will give you your Shoofly block. Okay, so the only difference in the other block, you're cutting everything exactly the same, make your half square triangles exactly the same. However, your little blocks around your centre block are made up of long strips. So on the big quilt, this middle strip here is 4.5 inches by 1 3/4 inches. Your strips either side of this one are 1 7/8 of an inch by 4.5 inch on the big block, 1 1/8 of an inch by 2.5 inch on the little block. So if you just sew all these together like so, those will make those blocks, and you're going to put this block together exactly the same way as you just did with your Shoofly block. Half square triangles again in each corner, sewing your 3 little strips together and arranging them around, sewing the top 3, the middle 3, the bottom 3, and then joining together to finish your block. Okay, so that's all our blocks done now. We started making our borders in a previous quilt, but we'll recap the borders in the next video, and we will start making our binding as well, ready for when we've quilted our quilt. Okay, so that will be coming next. Thanks for watching. Hope you're getting on well with your quilts. I look forward to seeing them. If you want to share them on the Crosspatch Facebook page, or you can find me under Julia Roworth on Facebook. I'd love to see your pictures. Okay, thanks a lot. Bye.